Well, hello there. This is Frenchie. I'm with Mr. Snark and my good friend Jennifer, and you are watching Frenchie Talks About. For this edition, we're doing again a request edition. So if you have any requests, anything you want us to just have fun with, music, trailers, movie trailers, I should say, or any news topics, we're here to discuss it, okay? Before we go into the meat itself of the show, one thing I really want to stress is we're close to 2,500 subs. We're 100 subs away from the 2.5. So if you guys really want to help us, click like and especially subscribe. We're like 90% of the viewers are not even subscribed to the channel. Only 10% of all the viewers. So help us out and click that sub, guys. That being said, I wanted to start with something. I know how much Rob loves horror and suspense, so I wanted to put a little something on for him. I love you, bro. Have you guys heard anything about Nope? Nope.
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 Okay, it's the latest movie from Jordan Peele, the guy who did Us and Get Out, and a lot of people are claiming it is probably his best movie. The first trailer is fucking confusing. Nothing was revealed. It's just very obscure, but looked very interesting. The final trailer just dropped today. I haven't seen it, so I really am interested to see what twisted mind Jordan Peele has for us this time. So let's watch the trailer. And for those people watching right now, hello everyone. Thank you for joining. That being said, after the trailer, we are taking requests. So send in the requests via comments, and we're gonna react to them. All right. So you guys ready?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yes.
I should have said nope again. Just run it to the ground.
I
Run it in the ground, goddammit. it.
At this point, I just don't listen. Why are you in the show, Snark? Why?
Sure. I don't know. Show off.
I love you. All right. 3, 2, 1, and go.
What if I told you?
Oh, that's not good.
Nope.
Back today. You'll leave here different.
Pops!
I'm talking to you.
Well, what'd you see?
Something above the clouds.
That's big.
How big?
Big.
Oh, well. This is not good.
Whatever killed Pops is out there.
Ah, that Quebec internet. Damn it.
I knew you were going to fucking say that.
Right here.
All right. So what we'll do, people, because for some odd reason, my internet's decided to be stupid. We're just gonna pause the share for 2 seconds. Rob, if you could be such a dear, kind friend, which you usually are not, could you share your screen and go on go on YouTube and just put no final trailer? We're going to go off your internet because mine sucks apparently.
Oh, I have no idea how to do that.
Just click share.
Because
It's on the bottom.
Oh, where's it? Oh, nice. Wait. All right.
Man.
Share screen.
Live content. Yay.
Sharing tips. Oh boy, don't show these tips again.
But you have to open YouTube first.
Oh gosh.
Again, welcome to the Madhouse, Jen.
All right, why is it sharing screens is always the most complicated thing ever? Like my Zoom meetings, my Google Meet meetings is always chaotic when people want to share their screens. It's like insane.
Yeah, and usually I have no internet problems. I have zero problems. Everything goes smoothly. But today, for some odd reason, nothing's going to plan. Nothing. So
I got a better idea. I say Frenchie just acts out all of the trailers himself.
No. Like
you can grab some socks and have like hand puppets and stuff like that. It's like, better get out of the house. No way, man.
Oh Jesus, Snark. All right, so like I'm gonna retry because Snark is an old man, and I'm not gonna rely on him to actually know what the technology is. He just got out of doing smoke signals and just bought a new cell phone like a week ago. So
I got a newer cell phone than that guy did in that trailer. That thing looked like it was 2002 or something like that. The flip phone. You could probably play Snake on it.
Hey, you do not bash the flip phone. The flip phone was fucking amazing, man. It was less stuff, but a lot more effective. Like, I can't remember the last time I had a drop call on a flip phone. So don't you bash that flip phone, man.
Hey, I miss flipping the flip phone. Like, finally, like, when you hang up the phone and you just flip off, it seems so much cooler than what we have right now.
Seriously, like, phones today are computers, but they're not good computers. Like number of like random shit my phone does. It's not even funny. So yeah, I miss the flip phone too. All right, so round two. Let's hope this works a bit better.
What if I told you?
Well, you got there faster than me.
And it's not.
Okay.
Well, this is a complete disaster. All right, it's all good. Like in that case, instead of doing a trailer reaction because the computer is just not handling it right now, let's go into the topic of favorite childhood memory movies. Is there stuff, Jen, that you kept watching over and over and over until like the VHS got broken?
Oh my God, that's such a good question because there's so many movies as a little girl that I loved. Um, I would say one of them was Aladdin, the Disney movie Aladdin. I really liked that movie a lot, and I even got like the Jasmine Barbie doll. And I was 12, so I was a bit too old for Barbie dolls at the time, but it was Jasmine, so it was still cool.
I can hear the Quebec one.
It has nothing to do. Like, what is the point?
I could just hear it. I was like, oh, there it is. I thought it was just like, is she really from Quebec? It's like, oh, there it is.
Oh, Jesus. No. And again, is there any movies from like before we were born that you kept watching and watching?
Oh, movies before I was born. So definitely born in '83. So, well, listen, there's that like I was a big Michael J. Fox fan as a little girl, and I still am today. And there's this one movie, I think it's called Doc Hollywood, or he had like he's like a plastic surgeon, and then all of a sudden he finds himself like in this like small hick town, and he gets court ordered to be like the doctor for these 30 days because he got into trouble, and then he learned how to like live life on a slower pace and experience love and forsake the big salaries for interpersonal relationships. And I don't know. I thought that movie was cool, and I still do to this day.
It sounds horrible.
I remember it being good.
How is that horrible?
It sounds so generic and boring. Like, probably the movie is good, but the way you describe it sounds like a movie even my granddad wouldn't have enjoyed.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of like a chick flick, right? It is like one of those like about love. So obviously, but I also because I felt there was a good development to his character, and as a little girl watching that, you learn lessons. Like you're thinking it from the perspective of as an adult of our age. But when I saw it when I was 6 or 7 years old, for me that was the cutest little like story ever.
Mm. Well, you see, like in that case, it reminds me. Like I've never heard of the movie, so it might be amazing, and it just flies over my head. But it kind of reminds me of something in that case, not the story, but kind of like the effect of what you're saying is an old movie before I was born called 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton and what you call it, the girl.
There was what's her name, Jane Fonda was in it, and Lily Tomlin.
That movie, I watched it a bit later in life, but I fucking loved it because like there wasn't really any good feminist movies back in the 80s except for like 9 to 5, and it had balls, man. It had balls to go into a premise saying like, look, we are women, we are strong, and we're in a world of men, especially in the movie industry. It's really a movie about men, a world about men too, So they're trying to make a movie and release a movie about going against the traditional sides of men in a world of men. For me, it blew my mind. Like, it's very advanced for its time. Is it good? Fuck no. It's a horrible movie. but the message behind it is fucking amazing. So there's movies like that, like it doesn't age properly, but the intentions were there, you know. So is there like a movie like that for you, Snark? Like before your time, not very good, but still enjoyable.
There aren't many movies that came out before my time. It seems.
Really, Charlie Chaplin? I thought it was your time.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, my dad used to watch the old movies like that, like anything that was, you know, old westerns and stuff like that. I'd watch. I remember. Oh God, I remember as a little kid. So this is on Betamax. We didn't have a VCR yet. Even we had a Betamax, and there was a movie that came out called "You're the Hunter from the Future."
Wow.
And oh yeah, so Yor was this prehistoric dude, and he had to, you know, fight his way, and the girl gets kidnapped, and he's got to, you know, kill a triceratops to get to her. But turns out she's taken to this island that's run by robots. So
Again,
it's,
like
the caveman versus Darth Vader happens, and the caveman, you know, I don't want to ruin the ending. I don't want to ruin the ending, guys, but.
That sounds like a
pretty
board
exciting.
meeting mixed with acid and weed, and they have way too much money, and they decided to do a movie on weed and acid, and then throw out the most like pop culture things possible, and says like, "Hey, let's put prehistoric people versus Darth Vader," you know?
I beg to differ because this thing looks like it was made for $75. But like $75 back then is worth way more than it is now.
Yeah, like 150.
Yeah, it's like $250. That's pretty good. You got
right,
a whole movie out of it, and Darth Vader.
By the way, for those who are watching, we can't really react to trailers because my computer is going haywire for some odd reason. If you guys see a lot of lag on your end, let us know. We'll try to fix it. But yeah, we're kind of doing requests, but we can't really show the trailers because again,
We'll act them out. We're gonna act them out just for you.
Well, like it depends what movie, right? If you're asking me to act out like Wild Coyote or like Striptease, I'm not sure the people are gonna like that, right?
No, that's not right.
I am no Demi Moore.
Yeah, no.
And neither am I, so it's all good.
So Snark, it's on you.
I can pull
baby.
it off. I can pull it off.
All right. Now,
but Frenchie, why don't we review Magic Mike? Would you be more comfortable in that way?
no. Because I wanted to keep my 8-pack of secrets. Now you're revealing to everyone. Thank you, Jen.
Brutally honest.
Behind his jersey, he's really a Channing Tatum.
Say what again?
Behind your jersey, you're Channing Tatum.
Yeah, like not just my jersey. I'm like a bit like a Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I'll just like rip off my mask and finally I am Channing Tatum, you know?
What? This is what's been going on this entire time?
Yeah, I know. Like I wanted to tell you stuff for all this time.
His character.
I was afraid of jealousy, and I was afraid also that you know, I'll push you to the edge because I am Channing Tatum, so I didn't want to say anything, bro. But
I always thought the mustache and beard were fake. Now I know. I was right.
No. Now, in that case, you bring up a good question. Like Magic Mike, I actually enjoyed that movie. I really enjoyed. Is it the first time publicly I'm admitting it? Yes. Will I ever admit it again? No. That being said, is there certain movies that you guys love that, you know, you're kind of ashamed to say that you love this movie because you shouldn't love it, but deep down inside, boy, do you love that.
Like a guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah, that's like almost beyond guilty pleasures. Like guilty pleasures because it's not really good, but it's like, it's fun. And then there's like, I like Twilight, you know?
Have I told you about this movie called You're the Hunter from the Future?
Yeah, you did, Snark. We're past that.
Still fits. You know what I like movies like Notting Hill. I remember I really liked that movie.
Jesus.
I don't know if I was ever supposed to like that. I think
Notting Hill is a classic love story. What are you talking about? It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, look.
Yes.
I just don't think you're like the demographic for the
not.
film, but obviously, like that is one of the classic love stories ever. Notting Hill with Julia Roberts. Wow.
Well, look, don't get me wrong. It's
I like Reese Ifans in that movie. It's the best.
it's an okay movie, but it's just like there's certain romantic movies that really stick out. They're beautiful. They're you actually believe the love story, and then there's
I
like
know one.
this. And then there's this like these movies that like kind of like always take the same formula and just rehash it. This time they just bring a bit of, put a British guy in it. Like there's certain movies like Non-Held, like I kind of can't distinguish it from other movies, right? So like I'm trying to remember it, but it just kind of fades out. You
I know
actually
a
like
really
that
nice
movie,
love
Ben?
story.
I'm trying to think about what's my favorite like romantic movie. Hold on. Like I've watched so many and I have so many like favorite romantic movies. But I think my all-time favorite is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Because
Jesus.
Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson have insane chemistry and they took a script that had potential for to flop because obviously it's kind of like, the story's been kind of told before, whatever, but they made it exciting and they made it fresh.
Yeah,
I
like
was hoping you would say You're the Hunter from the Future.
no, bro, get off that boat. No one knows that movie. No one loves that movie, Snark, except for you. But you see, I have to admit, I've never seen the movie. I am not a McConaughey fan. I am not a McConaughey
Ooh,
fan. Like
it's a hot take.
his face annoys me.
Wow.
But
I guess it's a man's face. Wow. Unbelievable.
So did you like Matthew McConaughey in The Wolf of Wall Street? Where he's beating his like hand on his
um,
chest.
um, yeah, like, but
Mm,
he's good in certain roles. Like Dallas Buyers Club is fucking amazing. Lincoln Lawyer's fucking amazing, but he had this stint of like romantic comedies that I just find that he doesn't fit. He's a good looking guy. I'm gonna admit, but I don't. He actually acts good in romantic comedies. Like he feels stiff to me. He's just there because he's a name and he's good looking and women drool over him. That's about it. But when it comes to serious stuff, he's interesting. When it comes to romantic comedies, I just don't buy it.
Well, Matthew McConaughey did an interview once, and I was reading up on him, and basically he took a step back from Hollywood for a little bit because he didn't want to get pigeonholed as like the leading romantic guy in movies, and the roles that he's were the roles he was getting were kind of like similar, so he didn't want to get stereotyped, and he wanted to take on more serious roles, but then everyone just wanted to cast him like in romantic films, so he took a step back and then he sort of like from scratch he starred in Dallas Cowboy and he won an Oscar for that, I think, and then he was in Wolf of Wall Street and then he was attached to some really good projects. So
Interstellar was really good.
Well, yeah, you see, Interstellar is an odd one for me because the acting is good, the music, like Hans Zimmer, is awesome, but again, it's one of those performances that I just don't believe him. I find him generally very stiff for for a movie that's very like open minded and very abstract. Nolan did an amazing job on actually doing like the story justice. I just don't like his performance.
All right, all right, all right. All
no,
right.
I'll agree with you. I didn't like his performance in Interstellar myself.
Ooh,
I felt like it really brought down the film because I found it was too monotone. There wasn't any excitement unless that was like, yeah, so that was one of the movies where I feel like he didn't go do a good job, but overall I still like him as an actor.
mhm.
And you see, it's funny. We're talking about like also like romantic comedies and stepping out of the stereotype. There's one person that really surprised me in a movie that usually does like stupid comedies or things that you're kind of like weed movies, and that is Jack Black in The Holiday with Kate Winslet.
Okay.
Tell me
Yeah,
I'm not
that was
wrong.
that was really refreshing.
like it felt good to see like a normal Jack Black that is not going all in like song and dance and shit like that. Like he actually did a very good performance and he was believable. But I did not expect to actually like that movie, and I fucking adore that movie. It's in part because of Jack Black's performance and the unexpected factor. Rob, tell me you've seen that movie, right?
I've seen the movie, and I'm a huge Jack Black fan because I'm a huge Tenacious D fan.
Mm.
So I try and see everything that he puts out. Try and support. I'm going to try and support the boy. Uh, the holiday, I was very surprised at. I was just surprised that they put Jack Black in a romantic comedy with Kate Winslet. I just thought it was, an odd kind of pairing and stuff like that. But for it's a Christmas time rom com. I'm gonna watch it as often as you guys think. Once in a very blue moon.
You are dead to me, Snark. Holiday rom-coms rom-coms, it's a hit and miss, but holiday rom-coms, we actually had a discussion today, me and Jen, about this. There's something about like the cheesy, sappy, good old holiday Hallmark movies that even I have to admit I fucking love, right? There's something about having a lighthearted subject, a lighthearted moment to disconnect from all the reality and bullshit we're living in. That like for me, I really love those kind of holiday movies. And I know Jen, you do too, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
this one, right?
Oh, like I'm a sucker for holiday movies. Like I think my favorite holiday movie of all time, and it's a comedy with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn, and it's called Four Christmases.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually remember going to watch this Christmas rom com in the movie theaters, like when it first came out, and I was um, laughing all the way through. It's like I've never laughed so much at a holiday romantic movie like that, like in my entire life. So that comedy just like really like was amazing.
Now you see, this is where now the laptop is pissing me off because I've never heard of this movie, and if it wasn't for the laggy computer, I would actually want to put the trailer right now because I have never heard of this, and I like Vince Vaughn, so I don't know how that like passed under the radar.
Hmm.
Is it beloved or like you're one of the rare people who actually love it? Because that happens sometimes. Like I like movies like no one loves, and I'm shocked.
I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know how well it did in the box office. I'm not sure if it's a like a hidden gem, but like I've actually rewatched the movie like 3 or 4 times, and every single time I still end up laughing, even though I know the punchline of the joke. So I don't know. I guess I knew of it. I know. I'm not sure, and I thought everyone else did too.
Well,
I remember. I remember it. I never saw it, but I do remember when it came out. This was in the dark times for me. Like in between relationships, there was no way I was going to watch this.
Like, when did this movie
Zero.
come out?
2008 it came out.
It came out in 2008. Wow, that's so long ago.
we're getting old, Jen.
Oh my God, yes.
Way to go, guys. Not me. Getting quite younger.
Like yeah, but when we'll want geriatric tips, Snark, we'll go see you.
Ooh, that hurts. That's right in the bones. I got a question for you guys. When you guys go see movies at the theater, do you go see like the original English language ones? Do you see dubbed ones? And what are you more comfortable watching?
Well, I always watch a movie in its original language. So if it's
Mhm.
in English, I'll watch it in English. If it's French, I'll watch it in French.
Do
Okay,
you
question
prefer
then.
one over the other? Or it doesn't really matter. Like, do you prefer watching a French film, a French language film, than an English language film?
Well, I'm more Anglophone, so I consume my media in English no matter what.
Oh,
But if I am watching French content, I usually don't have any subtitles on, I'll just watch it and listen. And because being, from Quebec, fully bilingual, so I guess it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't by switching languages. Like I think it's just a natural thing when you live here to switch.
Mhm.
Well, to give it back to Rob, Rob thinks everyone in Quebec doesn't speak English, apparently.
No. But I know that if English is a second language, I just don't know if you prefer watching programs in French first, or if you just watch it in English. You don't care.
Well, for me, the base rule, like Jen, I'll watch a movie in its original language, but there's certain languages like sometimes it happens like I want to watch a Korean movie, right, or anything to do with like Asian root movies. I find for some odd reason the English translation is so fucking bad that like the only translation that actually works is French. For some odd reason, it makes more sense the dubbing than English itself. Watching like Korean or Japanese things subtitled, I can, but with my eye issues, like reading a movie like 2 hours long, I want to kill myself at the end of the fucking day. So I need language behind it, but I can't watch a Korean movie in English just save my fucking life.
Yeah, you're the one who told me when we were doing that anime stuff. It's like you do not listen to the English dubbed version.
Well,
Find the
anime
regular stuff and read the stuff, right?
anime is different because usually like what it's half an hour, right? I'll watch an episode or two, I'm good. But don't ask me to watch 2 hours and a half reading subtitles, like, and then I'll have like a headache for like the next fucking 2 days. No, I can't read that long for that long a period of time. And one thing that really gets me annoyed about subtitles is, I have to read and then go up. I'll miss half of like what's happening on the screen because I'm always looking down, right? So doing that for 2 hours and a half ain't gonna happen with me. Now,
If I'm watching a foreign film, I usually prefer it to be dubbed. Like I watched, I think Squid Game is Korean, and the
Mhm.
way they dubbed their film was amazing. Like,
Ooh.
because there's some quality, like it real. I can watch a foreign film dubbed if the quality of it is like 100%. Because I've seen some really bad movies, and their dubbing was totally off, and I just had to change it because they didn't find the right voice for their character and whatnot. But Squid Games, like the way they translated it was perfect because they found the right voices.
Okay, because I've
eh,
only seen Squid Game with the subtitles. I've never actually heard the dubbed version, and I love Squid Game. Squid Game is one of my favorite shows I've watched over the last few years. So I wonder
Hold on,
what it would be like
hold
just
on. I
even to
might
watch one
I might
episode.
be mistaken. Was Squid Games actually dubbed, or was I reading the subtitles? I forget because
Hmm.
there's one that I watched where it was dubbed. I'm not sure either, or I completely forget. I might be wrong.
well,
I don't know. I'm sure that it's dubbed. I'm sure that it's dubbed
there's definitely a
as
dubbed
well.
version, but I
Yeah.
don't know if unless we rewind time and we check it out, Jen. There's not really any way we can figure it out. But
It's
I
gonna be
am
a
curious.
mystery.
I am curious though. Is there like no? Before I actually get into that, Quebec has a weird history with dub movies because especially when it comes to hockey shit. Like a little known fact, Slapshot for a lot of Quebec people, they think it is a Quebec movie until they realize it's an American movie dubbed in French because it's hockey,
Is it
right?
even
And
dubbed?
Quebec people love their hockey more than they love their poutine, which is surprising. But
And
but
you
it like
go to the box and do feel shame. That guy's directly from France or from Quebec, isn't he? One hundred
who
percent.
who
The goalie says that there's slashing like this, and
no,
you go to the box, for 2 minutes, and
but
you feel shame.
but except for like that one actor, like you go around and ask people if Slapshot is a movie from Quebec, and most people say yes. Like
Wow.
I have uncles and aunts that love that movie, and then they realize, shit, that's an American actor. This is not Quebec because the dubbing is not in French from
Okay.
France. It's one of the rare movies. Like these days, like starting from 2015, Netflix is going to put French Canadian dubbing. Right? They actually will take Quebec people to dub things. But back in the
Oh,
day, especially in the 70s, 80s, dubbing in Quebec was not a thing, except for Slapshot. They actually took Quebec actors and dubbed it over Robert Redford and not Robert Redford, but the main actor thing. Paul Newman, exactly. And they had like they changed the jokes to fit the Quebec market. So the jokes in French dubbed are completely different from the English version. But they make so much sense that people actually took it for granted and actually thought it was a Quebec movie. That's how good the dubbing was.
Well, there was a lot of people employed that were from Quebec, right? There was a bunch of Canadian hockey players in the movie, and also, uh, it's not like they had to go far to get someone to translate the jokes better.
Yeah, but it's fucking Paul Newman. Paul Newman's not Quebec, man. It's a fucking American movie.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, filled with Canadian hockey players, and it was filmed in. Isn't it filmed at Peterborough or something like that? It was filmed up in Canada, I think, as well. There's a whole bunch of WHA guys.
I have a question. Do you know if that movie was released in France or other French-speaking countries, and if the movie was redubbed with another another French from France?
I don't. I guess so, but like in all honesty, else than like Canada, US, and Russia, who loves hockey? No one. So I really doubt it actually made waves in other places enough to actually dub it in that kind of French. But like, there's not many countries that like hockey that much, right? So I really doubt it. But I could be mistaken.
Yeah, Sweden. There you go. There's four.
Yeah, but they don't speak
in
French.
The entire world. Oh, that is
I know for you,
outrageous.
any foreign language
Outrageous.
sounds the same, Snark, but
No, I can say a couple of Swedish things. I can say "Du är en jävla bajskorv."
do you really want to translate it?
You don't.
Okay.
I can if you like.
Man, the computer is pissing me off, man. Like I'm like I don't know how
Your
you guys
camera
are
is
seeing
doing
it.
something. Your camera is doing something very interesting, where you are fully in focus, and the rest of your background is like all fuzzy. So it looks like you're almost in 3D.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I totally like the effect.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Snark, and
How dare you?
little do you know, you can actually do that. It's an option on StreamYard, Snark.
I don't want to. Could you imagine make this?
But the way I see it right now, I'm like my video is like almost like 30 on my end, like 30 seconds behind. So I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. I do have a question for you, Rob. And please, like you love to make fun of me and my fucking accent and my Quebec like blood. Tell me you've seen all 4 boys. The Boys movie.
The Boys? The Boys movie?
Jesus, Snark.
No, I have no idea. What's The Boys?
It's probably the greatest hockey movies of all time.
Ooh, then no, I have not seen it. I've seen Slapshot and Youngblood, and I've seen one of the Mighty Ducks movies.
But I can guarantee, I bet you've seen Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
No, I've heard of it. I know what it is.
But you have heard of it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and didn't it have a sequel as well?
Like, I think that movie was so epic. Bon Cop, Bad Cop was so epic. You really you should really take some time and watch, because it's a real good one.
Well, it's like it makes fun of like the relationship between Quebec and Ontario, right? Because like it or not, we're neighbors, but we don't always like each other. You know, we still have to live with each other, and that's pretty much the basis of it. But it's funny. I kind of like for me, that's more of a Canadian movie than anything else, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, in terms of a Canadian movie, that movie I think was epic. They really hit the nail on the head and really exemplified Quebec-Ontario relations sometimes, you know?
And Patrick Huard is just fucking on point. It's like I personally find he makes the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like fantastic performance.
I missed a movie that has Patrick Roy in it.
You all.
Ooh.
No, don't even start your French. We don't have an hour and a half.
That's polite.
Now, I am
Kid
curious.
Sounds
Like,
rough.
I know, Jen, you love that movie. In that case, Snark, what is your favorite Canadian-made movie?
Oh, Strange Brew with Bob and Doug McKenzie is pretty good. What else? There's a movie called The Wrong Guy with Dave Foley, and it's very good as well. That's 100%.
The Wrestler?
Dave Foley is the guy from Kids in the Hall. There's also
I've
Kids in
never-
the Hall Brain Candy. That's
I've
very
never
good
seen
Canadian.
Kids in the Hall. Never. I know. Shoot me now. I do not like. I'm sorry. I do not like Canadian
back.
humor.
You can get in on the ground floor.
I do not like Canadian humor. I find it boring as fuck. It's like else than call a mockery. Name me someone else who's good.
From name a decade. Let's say John Candy.
Okay. Yes. Okay. You're right on there. But someone else than John Candy.
Rick Moranis.
You snark. Okay.
Rick Moranis is fun. Eugene Levy.
Okay. In that case, you're right. I retract my words. Eugene Levy is. Eugene Levy is interesting because I forget he's Canadian. In my head, he's always been American because of American Pie.
Oh, I met him in person. Well, kinda, because when I was younger, I worked at the AMC movie theater downtown Montreal, and at the beginning, when it was like super busy, there were some celebrities that would come and watch their movies there in the afternoon.
Okay.
And I would be behind the concession stand selling them popcorn. So I served Eugene Levy like his popcorn, and I was so nervous because I loved him in all the American Pie movies, and like he's a Canadian celebrity. So I was like, oh my god! So I really put a lot of popcorn in his bag, like I really filled it up for him.
Nice.
And then he went to put like some butter underneath, and he couldn't fit it because I put so much popcorn for him because I was nervous.
Did he raise his eyebrow to you because of that, or
his eyebrow raising to me is iconic. It goes all the way back to Saturday night, to SCTV and stuff like that. When he would talk or whatever, and he'd have the thing going. You can have them both going at the same time, two different directions. It's phenomenal. Eugene Levy is one of the funniest people who ever lived, if you ask me.
Again, Rob, I'm gonna break your heart, but SCTV, what the fuck is that? And he goes silent. Okay. See, for me,
That's silent with rage.
No one cares about Canadian comedy. My favorite two Canadian movies are actually horror movies. Shocking, I know. It is Ginger Snaps and Cube. Ginger Snaps, like, I talked to a lot of Americans, right? They don't know what the fuck that is, and I'm fucking surprised. It's a cult classic B horror movie. I think three of them. Yeah, all three of them. The third one was a bit iffy because it made no sense. It went back in the past. But I absolutely love Ginger Snaps because, first of all, it's a werewolf movie, and that's awesome. But it's so different from any other Canadian content. It's gruesome. The performances are fucked up, and it kind of pushes the boundary of what a werewolf story could go into. You know, it's a story about two sisters who don't look alike for 2 cents. You know, but it's very interesting. And Cube, it predates Saw, and it does a better job than Saw. Personally, have you guys seen Ginger Snaps and Cube?
I haven't seen either or, but I've heard of Cube.
Cube is great. Cube I've seen. Ginger Snaps. And I remember when it came out, I remember it got a lot of press here in Canada. Well, as much press as you can get for being Canadian. And isn't it, I forget what it's an allegory for, but they were really hammering home about it's an allegory about something. So it was, special for this thing, but it came out 25 years ago, so I can't remember what they were talking about.
It might be a future message about us being stuck in Legault's government and how everything's fucked up, but that's another conversation for another time. Trudeau, I mean, not Legault.
Frenchie talks about politics. This is what it's going to come to.
Well, and it's funny, because the last 5 years I've been learning a bit more, but I've understood and followed so much more American politics than Canadian. It's only like last year for like 4 or 5 years I've been more interested in, but I know nothing compared to the history of like American, and I don't know why. I'm not even American, and I find it more interesting. And yet, it's not even a country I fucking live in. But it's now I guess I'm getting older in with my kid. I understand Canadian politics a bit more, and I actually give a shit. But it took me some time to actually be interested in Canadian politics.
Yeah, you get into American politics because they treat it like entertainment down in the States.
You got CNN. Well, we have CTV, you know.
CNN, you got Fox News, you got everything down there. None of it's really news. It's opinions about news. So yeah, so it's entertainment. It's a panel show that runs 24 hours a day. So yeah, they touch on factual things. Everybody touches on factual things, but they always have a spin. So it's whatever. Some people like that stuff. I refuse to watch it. I couldn't care less. If it doesn't say
Well,
anything, it's fine.
for me, I think I got into American politics first, then Canadian politics. I remember being I started following politics around the time of the first election of George W. Bush. So that's the year around the year 2000.
Mhm.
But I wasn't following very closely, but I was still paying attention. Now, in terms of Canadian politics at the time, I wasn't because in the early 2000s, I felt whether it was liberals or conservatives, it didn't really make a whole big of a difference in terms of how the country was being ran. It felt the same to me. It didn't feel like my life was impacted either or. So for me, it was like things were kind of just status quo. I think I started following Canadian politics more closely since the pandemic.
Hmm.
So I
And
got
a
more
lot
time
of
to watch.
a lot of people have too, but like that's what I find curious too, because there's been reports a lot of Canadians don't give a fuck about the government, don't give a fuck about politics. A lot of them don't vote, even less than Americans, and yet it's funny because it still affects our life greatly. Why do you think, Rob and Jennifer, Canadians are less into politics, even though it affects them that much?
Well, I think out west, the big reason why people aren't as interested in politics is because it by the time we go to vote, whoever's going to be prime minister has already been decided. If Ontario really wants a liberal prime minister, it's going to happen. If Quebec really wants a liberal prime minister, and then some of Ontario really wants a liberal prime minister, it's going to happen. There's just no two ways about it. Like a lot of the West, they're more of the conservative end, like the PC party and stuff like that. For me, I don't really give a shit about whose party it is. I try and see what these people are actually for, and if it's just following everything about a party line, I just don't vote for them. I'll vote for an independent guy. It's like
And
somebody has to actually mean something. Like I just don't understand why everybody's, it's like politics is teams now. You have to be part of this team or that team. Nobody tries to find good from either side anymore, and that's why everything seems to be so broken. And now politics has become so vitriolic. Like there's actual hatred on other sides. It's like who gives a shit? Like your guys are supposed to come together and compromise and stuff like that, and everybody out there was like, no way, it's like our team or your team. So I don't know. I think anybody who becomes a politician is doing a disservice because they're only in it for themselves. They're never in it for anybody else.
Well,
And
no, no,
people
don't
can think
generalize. I mean, like the good intentions are
Oh,
there.
I know.
Like it's
Okay.
got to be complicated as fuck to run a government and get things running, let alone try to fix things that, like like the predecessor did, or like start new things that the predecessors didn't want to do. Like I have a hard time running a call center, let alone a fucking country. So I can only imagine. But I'm curious to see, like, on your opinion, Jen. Why do you think Canadians seem to be at least less involved than Americans when it comes to politics? Because you talk to a lot of people, and they can't really differentiate like the NPD from liberals from certain conservatives because they can't even understand or tell like the policies. So why do you think they're less invested, or am I completely wrong?
No, I think ignorance is bliss,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people can feel, can sense there's something up, and instead of just trying to deal with the problem, they ignore. So by ignoring, they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna just follow my party lines, and I'm in my little bubble of a world. I have, a family commitments, I have work, I have friendships, and a whole bunch of other responsibilities in life. And they'll just turn on the TV and they'll see the top headlines. And right now we don't have real journalism. We have people are just giving their opinions on TV, so they don't report the full facts. They'll change the facts to their narrative, and people who don't want to be more awakened will just hear that snippet and form an opinion, and that's it.
But it kind of sounds like the same problem that the Americans have. Then it just comes down to just being human in that case because it kind of seems the same issues for both countries. We see the headlines, we don't really dig into like the deeper truths, and we just go on what we see because we're supposed to trust the news, right? But that doesn't seem like just an American or just a Canadian thing. It seems like it'd be even at one point like a world thing, a human thing. And I also
Yeah,
did
I mean,
also
it's but what I'm happy about is that there's a lot more people who are like hip to this. It's not like conspiracy. I mean, a lot of people now understand that like media sensationalize things and blow things out of proportions because they're looking for ads through clicks on their websites. So like, but I don't feel like the media is doing justice to society, because if you're going to cause division so you can get clicks on your website to make some money, stop. Figure out another business model. You're going to destroy society for clicks.
yeah, it's
Agreed.
sadly that's the day and age we live in, and it's again like the internet and like the clickbait stuff is what runs everything these days, right? One topic before we actually end the stream, and again, I'm surprised that my computer didn't explode at this point, so I'm very happy about that. One thing I'm curious is the newer generation is a generation that votes the less and yet is the generation that has the most opinions on social media, the loudest in protests, but they seem to not want to participate in actually voting. I never got that. Jen, could you like give your thoughts about why the younger generation is so vocal but doesn't imply themselves in politics?
No, the younger generation play a lot into identity politics, um protestings. Like they have a lot of causes that they go after, so they're very vocal on that.
But they vote
um
less.
i'm not I'm not really sure what their voter participation rate is, between the 18s to 23 years olds. I don't particularly know. um
If I remember correctly, because I've been reading up on that, I think last time I checked was like 17% of the 18s to 23s actually vote, which is
well,
really
I can
low.
maybe tell you in the US it's because those were Bernie Sanders supporters for sure. the
Okay.
younger the younger generation is more far left,
Mm.
and a lot of them are the Bernie Bros. And I mean, I remember seeing at one point like a 22 years old girl having a meltdown on TikTok and saying, "Please don't make me vote for Joe Biden," because they didn't really um, want Joe Biden as a nominee. It was between him and Bernie Sanders, and they didn't want, Joe Biden, but they wanted
Mm.
Bernie Sanders, and they're like, damn it, I don't want to have to vote for this guy, but I'm gonna have no choice.
Yeah.
So if there's not no participation rate there, it's because those kids really were Bernie Bros.
Okay, maybe it's my misconception, but because I often hear like the issue with these days is like the younger generation doesn't vote as much as like the rest of the demographic, and that does play in hand. Now again, Rob, we're definitely not talking about your generation, but what's your thoughts on
I mean, what the fuck are we directly talking about? Guys, I'm 23 years old.
Yeah, but again, like no. But okay, like in that case, again, thank you for people who are watching. We're really sorry for not doing the regular thing of reacting to trailers. We had to adapt, but we really appreciate you guys watching this and following my very laggy camera for those people who are watching. So again, thank you very much. Don't forget to sub and to like this channel and this video. And again, if you like this is not the only show on the the No Pause Network. The name says everything. Our reactions. We love doing them. We hate pausing. A lot of YouTube videos, they pause it a billion times, and me and Jay, it gets us infuriated. We do not pause it. We love watching it from A to Z, either movies or music, and then we react to it. So if you like that concept, please like, subscribe. We're almost at 2,500 subscribers. Again, for me, it blows my mind. Thank you so much for all the people who have been supporting our channel. That being said, till next time, bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
And watch the second I end broadcast, the video goes good.
We got 30 seconds after he hits it. Don't forget.
I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my computer.
I think we're still going. It's like
I'm not even sure
we're
if it's still
getting
going.
we're getting an encore, guys. We're getting an encore.